let's now talk about some of the challenges that research advocates face.
I think many times, at least since the 90s, the National Cancer Institute, when they, as the funder of research, would say to the scientists, you need to have an advocate, whatever that meant. And they didn't know what it meant. So they would look at a patient of theirs that they'd had a good relationship with, or that was a curious patient, and they'd say, would you like to be my advocate? Well, what are you going to say to your doctor? Of course you want to be their advocate. So we got a seat at the table, and that was very important. You can't make change if you're not there. But there was such a missing kind of conglomeration of expectations, because many times the patient advocate just wanted to help. You know, I'm here, you've asked me to be here, I'm honored to be here, how can I help? And the scientist was saying, I have to have the advocate, and there they are. And so I would hear from the scientists, oh, she was just great, that was just the most wonderful experience having her at the table. I'd say, oh, good. And I'd go to the individual and I'd say, well, how was that for you? I don't know what I was doing there. And I think, So it's that missed expectations. I don't think we're very good as advocates. We need to get better at saying what we're willing to do, what we can bring to, what we can bring to the table and what we're willing to do. I think the scientists need to get better at saying, what do I need from you? And to talk, to have a dialogue. I know one time I thought I was going to be very proactive. So I went to the chair of the committee and I said, so, am I doing what you need done? I couldn't even get eye contact. All he did, he was a thoracic surgeon, that might have been it. But anyway, all he's doing is staring. You're just fine. I was like, okay, great, I'm glad. So I think that's one challenge, is making sure that your expectations are articulated well and they're understood, and that there's an ongoing dialogue, so you don't go astray, so to speak, either way. And that in the end, you actually are helping patients.
It's especially hard for basic and translational scientists, because a lot of the funding programs now are requiring that you have an advocate as part of the program. Here you're taking a scientist who's used to doing bench science and doesn't have any patient contact, and requiring them to get an advocate. They don't have the wherewithal and to not only contact an advocate, but what do you do with them when you get them? You know, we want to do more than just be listed on the grant. We want to provide input to the programs and discuss the science and really have a voice and be listened to. And so I think it's especially hard for basic and translational scientists to meet those requirements. And I think for research advocates right now, it's a difficult environment because the funding situation is so tight that we're all looking for funding. And so the advocacy piece and providing that patient perspective may be of lesser importance than just getting out there and getting the funding. So we've got a seat at the table, but now to really contribute and to really keep that seat at the table is important.
I would echo much of what you've just heard. I think it was such a major step when we got that seat, but then what do you do with it because you want the voice too, not just to be there and to be taken seriously and to show that, you know, we've all had training. We are not coming into this blind, and it's not about us anymore. It's about the bigger picture.
No matter how professional you are or accomplished you are in your professional life, it's like being a patient overshadows your intelligence. It's like, oh, you're a patient, well, then you must not know as much, and like, even though they want to take us seriously in our efforts, do you ever feel like we have to work a little harder at proving ourselves?
I always feel like when they look at advocates, they feel like we fell off the turnip truck once we got we had no life before, we had no skills before, we had no education before. We were a blank slate. It's like, So I think that is the frustration for me. We all have different backgrounds, and we bring skills to the table, and they just kind of discount that. And I think the other issue I have is we need to show our value, and we're not evaluated, really. We're kind of evaluated by how nice we are, or, they don't make waves, that's great. They didn't yell at me. That's one researcher actually said that. When are you going to yell at me? I said, do you want me to yell at you? And she said, no, but the last one did. I'm like, nope, that's not me. So, but we do need to have some more formal evaluation of the contribution that we make. It's not easy. I understand it's not easy. That doesn't mean we shouldn't be doing it.
And so thanks to all of you, and in particular to Ginny Mason, to Mary Lou Smith, and to Elda Railey for coming together and giving us this opportunity and including me as a research advocate.
Absolutely.